let's get straight to it.
You get it tweaking, I cannot move my hands, front is fire. MVP like shade, a bitch get shy around my guys. I throw up fives, I don't tell lies. Yeah, beat it till she slide and go outside. Honey, I'm with the misters, huh? Ride around with a missile, everybody issue.
For this episode of the interviews, we have put together a great guest. Let me introduce the mayor of Starkville, Lynn Sproul. A Starkville native, former U.S. Navy pilot, and the first woman in Navy history to qualify as a carrier pilot. She's worn many hats as mayor of Madison, Texas, a Delta Airlines pilot, Starkville's city administrator, a businesswoman, and a community leader. From managing hundreds of city employees to developing local neighborhoods and serving on community boards, our mayor has built a career defined by leadership and service. We're excited to have her here today.
Well, thank you. That was very nicely done.
Yeah, you think so?
No, absolutely. I've had lots of introductions, and that was perfect, succinct, and covered some points. So.
Good. Did I miss anything?
You did not miss anything worth missing.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think today we're doing a walking tour, or not a walking tour, a walking interview. So we're going to get into that, and I'm going to read off the first question, and we'll start getting going.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So when you look back on your career from serving in the U.S. military to being mayor of a city in Texas to being a businesswoman and realtor, was there any point where you knew you wanted to be the mayor of your hometown, Starkville?
Absolutely not.
No?
I don't even have to elaborate. Never anticipated that. Of course, I didn't anticipate coming back either. So are we passing it back and forth?
Passing it back and forth.
Oh, okay. All right. Which way are we going? All right.
This way, we're going to go that way.
Okay. No, I came back home to run the business after my father died. And so, from my perspective, it wasn't something I anticipated, but, it was fun. I mean, it was an opportunity to do something for my city and my town where I grew up.
So, like we did say, this is your hometown. Can you tell me why it's so important that you came back and became the mayor? Like, what gave you the urge to become more than just a regular citizen here?
Well, when I came back, Dan Camp, who is always going to be the mayor of Cotton District, was running for mayor of the city. Mm. And so he asked me if I would help him with his campaign. And so I was his treasurer. And then when he got elected, he asked me if I'd serve as his chief administrative officer, CAO for the city, which I did, and did not anticipate being the mayor. I was just in a public service capacity, which I like very much. And the staff element of it, as opposed to the elected element of it, is very satisfying.
Yeah.
And so it was not something I anticipated doing. I served under him, and then I served under his successor, Parker Wiseman. And then I got removed from that position by changing the leadership of the town at that time. And so when Parker decided not to run again, there were things that I thought Starkville could be doing and doing better. And so I decided I'd throw my hat in the ring for that. And it was never something I anticipated doing.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. So we'll get to the next question. I got to remember the mic etiquette. We'll get to the next question. The boys in maroon and white are playing pretty good, pretty good, we'll have to say.
Yeah.
And this week is a big matchup. So this is probably going to come out after we play Tennessee.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Hey, Dr.
So-
Carskadden, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
So let's get you to give us a message to all the athletes playing this year. I know volleyball is doing very well right now
Soccer?
too. Soccer's doing very well.
Absolutely.
So can we get a message to them? Maybe some support. Maybe maybe even a
What do you
message
mean,
to
maybe?
the fans.
Sure we can.
Sure, we can.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think folks recognize the incredible impact that the athletics has on a city. I mean, we love having the people, we love winning, we always feel good about winning, but when it comes down to that, it is, from my perspective as the mayor, I want the sales tax that comes with people coming into town. If we don't have good season, if we don't have a winning team, not to put pressure on anybody, but if we don't have those things, but the piece of it that a lot of people don't realize is the need for us to win, to bring people into town and to have that excitement and have people want to live here, come back and visit here. It's a huge component of making a successful community that's a college town. The reality of Starkville and the SEC is that we are the smallest town in the SEC. We are the the poorest town in the SEC. I mean, it's just a fact. We are our surrounding community is not nearly as large as any of the others. We have comparable. Ole Miss is comparable in the sense that it's still a Mississippi town, but they're still larger than we are. So there is that element to it. But winning is
We'll go that way.
okay.
That way, yeah.
Winning is a huge component for us in making Starkville a place where people want to be.
True. Very true. For this next one,
Actually, I didn't answer that. Get that back to me.
come here.
So,
Yeah.
what you asked me was the encouragement of the athletes.
Yes.
So, yes, absolutely. They make such a huge difference in our community and being out in the community. People appreciate seeing them. NIL has provided a little bit of that.
Yes.
But just having them feel like they're a part of the community and understanding the impact that they have makes us all, proud.
Yeah.
I mean, Saturdays in the fall in the South in an SEC town, it doesn't get any better than that.
You can't
So
have any more fun.
you cannot. And with the winning soccer team, a winning volleyball team, and still a winning football team, which I certainly think they're going to do better. They've already done better than we've done in a number of years. It's going to be an exciting fall.
I think so too. All right. So we're all sophomores here in Starkville. This is our second year. And haven't really experienced the food in this town as much as I think I should. I know there's a lot of Mexican spots, but I really want to get out there and try what Starkville has to offer food-wise. So give me your top 3 food spots, and maybe you can go one favorite breakfast spot, one favorite lunch spot, one favorite dinner spot. Maybe that could be interesting like that.
All right. Well, I'm not a good foodie, although I'm a foodie. I'm a cheap foodie because my favorite biscuits are Jack's. Most people will say, well, Starkville Cafe is the place for breakfast.
Yeah.
And Blue Toes has gotten to be a bigger place for breakfast. I'm not a breakfast eater, so I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
I'll eat breakfast at lunch.
Yes.
But there are a number of restaurants that are unique, that are not your typical franchise kind of fare. Older Brother is one.
Okay.
It's on Rue de Grand Fromage across from Arepas, which is also another one. You got Ben 612, you got Blue Toes, you got Taste. You just got a lot of independent restaurants that are local, but they also, I say chain. Eat With Us group, which is Harvey's and Peppers and those things. They're kind of chainy, but they're still Mississippi and they're still Starkville. So those are some that are consistent and they're good. The Grill, Restaurant Tyler downtown. So yeah, you've got so many choices that you can make. Just depends on what kind of food you like. And that varies for me from the time I wake up in the morning, And Luva over there is a great little wine spot. Dolce is great for bagels. Those are the closest New York bagels you're going to get in Mississippi because he brings them in from New York.
Oh.
They're not fully cooked. He brings them in from New York, they're frozen. And then when he gets and pulls them out and cooks them, they're almost like they were there. So it's really pretty good.
Okay, I got to check that place out, honestly.
Yep, it's good.
Because I'm really sticking to cookout. That's what I got.
Well,
we don't even have one
if you're going to stick to cookout, then I can't help you.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I'm trying to get the insight. Okay. So, a lot of people in Starkville mainly students, claim Starkville's so small, we don't really have much like a Target or some people say a Cane's, things like that. What can you tell us about how Starkville's changing in the upcoming years and any maybe infrastructure, maybe restaurants or things like that are coming or anything new that's happening in Starkville? Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, we are constantly getting people who are interested in being a part of Starkville in the community because they do see us as a growing component of the SEC because we're the smallest. I've already acknowledged that. And so we have probably more opportunity for growth than a good number of them. We've got people who are looking, but we're not ever going to be, and never say never, you understand, but because it takes population. But I do think that we will be, and we do continue to grow in large part, not just obviously because of the university, but because of all the work that Joe McSiggins and the Link did to get the aluminum plant in town or in the area, and the steel mill and all the other things that are growing, because that's going to be jobs and people, residences and residents coming into town. So that's going to be something that's going to cause us to continue to grow. We do have, I don't know if we have any restaurants looking at us right now, but we have a Waffle House. That'll suit you, right? Waffle House will work. We got a new Waffle House that's being constructed right now, and with the new hotel that the foundation is doing, it's going to have a restaurant. The Landing recently opened. That's mostly bar, but nonetheless, it's where we're going now.
We're going this way.
Okay.
We're just doing a loop.
Okay. Get my exercise in for the morning, and I've already started that. I did that at 5 o'clock this morning. But that's it. But the Landing has, fairly recently opened, so we've always got folks that are starting to put together various and sundry either independent restaurants or looking at chains to come in. We'll just see, but we're always open to it.
That's good. Okay, this one's more about your service in the U.S. military, the Navy. Okay. So I was doing some research, and I wanted to ask, what was it like being a woman in the military in the late 70s, early 80s? Because when I was doing the research, I found that only 2% of the military at the time was female and 1% in the Navy. So that's even less. I mean, 1%, that's crazy. Okay. And you were a part of that 1%. So, what did it mean to you to be a female in the military at that time? What does it mean now? And how was that experience?
Well, it was an extraordinary experience, and you just be glad I'm not in charge, because I would have everybody, male, female, no matter, serve in the military. I would have everybody, male, female, no matter, serve in the military. It is something that is it's very self-enlightening. You learn things about yourself that you never knew. You do things you never thought you could do necessarily. It's a taxing kind of thing. It's a disciplinary thing where you learn about. I mean, I was an only child, so from my perspective, I did whatever the hell I wanted to do and whenever the hell I wanted to do it. And so this puts you in a position to be able to understand much better what it takes to work as a team, what it means to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And so at the time, and which is what you asked me about, actually, I put my plug in for the military to start with. But at the time, I was not a welcome party. I was not appreciated. I was not wanted. And that's probably still, there's some vestiges of that left over, I feel sure, even after 50 years. But it was one of those things that you just ignore and you plow through and you do what you want to do, or you do what you're tasked to do and are called to do. And so that's what I spent a whole lot of time doing, is ignoring the negativity and moving forward with what I was supposed to be doing, period.
That's a very good response. And to that, I would ask, you were, like we said in the intro, she was the first woman in the Navy to qualify as a carrier pilot. That's and you just said you kind of have to put your head down and just get through it, push through. Is that the determination you use to get to that position? Because I think it's pretty cool that we look up who's the first woman and it's you. I think that's pretty awesome. So was that more of I don't care what anybody says, I'm getting that. Was that kind of the attitude you were going into that with?
Absolutely. It was an opportunity. It was something everybody else was doing. It was something that I was perfectly capable of doing and trained to do, or at least should have the opportunity to be trained to do, because I had the grades in my flight class. So I pushed the envelope at every opportunity. If they said I couldn't do it, there were a number of things that I was denied access to because we hadn't gotten that far yet. I wanted to go into the jet program, but they wouldn't let me into the jet program. I wanted to fly there was a squadron that flew kind of a black ops Hercules. They wouldn't let me do that. So when it came time for a carrier qual opportunity, I was in the Pacific. I was in the Philippines, stationed in the Philippines, and it was something that as soon as the law changed, which the legislation had to change in Washington, I got the opportunity to do that. I was ready to do that. And the admiral, who was at the time running the Western Pacific region, said, she's not going to do that in my ocean. So I changed oceans. Yeah. I went to the Atlantic Ocean, and the admiral there said, sure. So anyway, we did. Trained and did it.
Yeah, that's a lot you had to get through just for that. I mean, there's a lot of, even today, there's a lot that are limited to women, people of different races and everything. So it's really cool to see that there were people back then even that were pushing the envelope and trying to get in place no matter what, no matter who was stopping them and everything.
Well, and there were people who were helping.
Yeah, there were
because
people
if that admiral hadn't said, yes, you can come to my ocean to do it, I'd be in that position of not having ever gotten to do it.
Exactly. So there's people on both sides that are always fighting amongst themselves for these issues that, honestly, hey, you were qualified for the job, you deserve the job. That's what I'll say.
Well, I deserve the opportunity.
Deserve the opportunity. There you go. I'm trying to make a question out of that one for today. Do you follow the military or military news at all today?
I do some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think the military has done a good job in the past 40 years since you've been serving to kind of not accept, but
they've made incremental progress. We now have a female Blue Angel, which, Lord help me, what a fabulous thing that she's qualified to do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I think I'm getting hot. I'm not gonna lie with you. So for these last couple, you want to sit down?
The next time we'll come out and
the
sleeves and
I know
whatever.
bad
and the pea coat there.
He looks good though. He looks good though. Come on now.
Looking fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So these next couple are a little more political. Obviously, I don't want it to be picking one side or the other, so I kind of try to write it from unbiased perspective. So this question is, with everything going on in this country, some media sources are being silent for talking ill about the government. We are in one of the most politically polarizing states this country has ever been in. And I want to know if you believe our government as a whole is doing what's right for the country. So it's a very broad question, but do you think we're on a good
trajectory,
good path, good pace?
No, I don't.
Okay. So
because we're not working together.
We're not working together.
We're not putting the country's best interest, in my opinion, we're not putting the country's best interest forward by working together.
Yeah.
You don't, if you've got all the power and you want to suppress those that don't, but you also suppress their voice and their opportunities, then no, that's not good government.
Okay. I completely agree with that. I think that maybe not, let's not say it. Well, actually, let's say it. I don't think the government is pushing in the right direction because I think they're trying to separate us as a people. Like you said, we're not working together. And I think our government is kind of making us not want to work together and making things in place that it's okay to not want to work together. And by that, I mean things like ICE specifically nowadays. I know they just became allowed to arrest people for being a different skin color and talking Spanish in general. And I think that's crazy. I think that's wild that we can do that, arrest somebody based off the language they speak. But I think the government they're doing a great job at separating the people right now. And I want to know your opinion on how we can stop this ourselves as citizens here. Stop the hate from spreading, stop all this stuff I don't think the government's doing a good job at stopping, and I think they're doing a good job at putting in place.
If I had the answer,
yeah,
that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
I do not. All I know is time generally will take care of most things. The pendulum will swing.
Yeah.
That's just the way life is. And so, what's let's just call it over on the far right now, is going to end up swinging back through. Sadly, we can't stay in the middle for very long, and it swings back the other way. So I do think that it will get better. I don't know about some of the issues relative to how the democracy representative government is being challenged right now in terms of going after your enemies, for example. And that the voices are such that if you're not on my side, then you're my enemy, as opposed to we have opposing points of view. I'm sure somewhere there's something we can agree on, but nobody's hunting for that right now, as far as I can tell. And social media has done an incredibly good or bad job, depending on how you want to look at it. I think personally bad job of making sure we are talking at one another and not with one another. There's a lot that's lost when we're texting or using Facebook or whatever it is we're using, because that's an anonymous way. You're not looking somebody in the eye and tell them, you're a dumbass.
Yeah, having a real conversation.
And that's not a conversation that you need to be having either on Facebook, but when you're talking to somebody, you get a much better feel for it, and you can be respectful. And if you hide behind a social media post, whether you're actually using your name or you're using an alias, because that's a lot of it, you're still after a fashion hiding a bit, because you're not having those conversations. You're talking at one another, not with one another.
I like that. I like that answer, because I completely agree that it is easier to, it's respectful conversations in person. There's less likelihood you're going to say something that you would say on the internet than in person. So I think,
and you're not putting it out there for the whole world to see.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's something about that I've got people they use Nextdoor, they use Facebook, they use Twitter, or X now, which is, for some reason, I like saying Twitter better than I like saying X. And a lot of times it's just to be bitchy, to just chew on me about something, when they could, and also just simple stuff. My phone number's out there, my email is out there. Rather than posting on Facebook, let's see, what was the latest one? It was something about, does anybody know why there was a stoplight out at X Street? Just pick up the phone and call me. Why are you doing that? Other than wanting the attention that comes with because then you start a dialogue about, the stoplights just suck all over town. We got potholes all over town. It just starts this negative diatribe that just does not ever quit. So the one thing, and I've done it to myself, because I really use the social media aspect to put facts out. And so I try to stick to facts. Every now and then I'll get snarky with somebody because they're just being obnoxious and just being deliberately, and I do it minimally. And I'll give you a couple of back and forths, but after a while I'll check out, because you obviously don't want to do anything but argue.
It's not a conversation. It's just attention or trying to get
it's not bringing any value to the subject matter.
Yeah, which honestly, guys, I would 100% recommend, just like you said, just emailing her, calling her. Like government, they're supposed to serve the people. That's what they're in place to do. Let's try to do something about it. If you want some, it's better. You'll get in contact with her.
Yeah,
it's better than Facebook and hate messages on Facebook, Twitter. Like, you can get in contact with this person and have a real conversation if you want to change something. But that's if you want to change something. So I think that's something that people need to learn how to do. I think reaching out to the government's pretty cool. I think it's something we have the ability to do, so why not do it?
Particularly local government.
Yes, local government.
People love to vote for president. That's sexy.
Yeah.
Voting local is what makes a difference in your life on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that's going to affect you driving down the street. Like the light out. That's an important issue. It's the way you go about things, trying to get it done, Ooh. Okay. So for this next one. Okay. Gun violence in this country is becoming worse and more normalized every day. With that being said, the normalization of gun violence is something we should not sit easy with. Do you think the media is doing enough to push information to people so they will look at this issue more seriously? And for an example for this, I would like to say, in recent past couple months, there's been a lot of gun-related violence, whether it's a school shooting, whether it's a political figure being killed. this has happened multiple times. It's not even just one instance in the past, like since the summer has started. Do you think we're covering it correctly? Because I watch the news, but I don't particularly see these smaller school shootings that are happening. And I'm saying smaller because there are bigger incidents that are happening, but 3 kids dead in a school isn't a good thing that we can see or want to hear about, but we should hear about it because we need to make a change about these things. So what do you think the media is doing right and wrong while covering these different issues?
Well, they are happening. Sadly, they're happening so frequently now that I don't know what the media can do differently, because they cover. It's all right. So it's like, let's take a plane crash. The plane crash that's going to get media coverage is generally the larger plane crash, or something that was a ball of fire that has good photo op, right?
Clicks,
and there's only so much they can cover and still give you other news, because if they took nothing but school shootings, they could probably fill up their 30-minute time slot with school shootings. Now we have 24/7 news cycles, but a lot of times people are not listening to the news. They're streaming Netflix. And I'm guilty as anybody else, but I pay attention to the news certainly on a local basis, and certainly on a national basis. And I listen to podcasts, or I listen to news magazines. Like I have The Economist on my iPod that I listen to, or on my telephone that I listen to starting on Fridays when it drops. And so I don't know that your question is about the news media. I don't know what you could do differently. Because at some point you turn people off. They quit. They quit listening if you keep saying the same thing.
Okay, I can completely see that perspective, because you saying that right now just made me think, if they do push this or that, it could look like they're pushing a certain agenda. And most news
is news now.
News is news. Most news should be, I think, factual, not picking a side or everything. And we obviously have news channels that do pick a side. It's not known. It's very normal.
Well, that's your cable news. But your FCC, your ABCs, your CBSs, those who have the FCC airwaves that are not pay for it, should be factual. And if they want to do an editorial, it should be a disclaimer as an editorial.
Okay.
But they obviously choose what to cover. But news is captured as this happened, period. These are the facts. But the school shooting pieces of it, it's news. It just, what else is there out there to cover? You cover the UN. You cover Trump's visit to the UN. You cover the war in Bosnia. You cover those things that are also making a difference worldwide, and they've only got 30 minutes to do it. So it's a 30-second segment, and how they time those things out, they've got to maximize it, because they still have advertising to do.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good answer. That's the best I could get, because
they're constrained.
Yeah. What can you do at this point? That's all I have written.
Okay.
So, do y'all have any questions before we end anything? Anything I want to talk about? Ed, you got anything? Good. So, this whole time, I thought I was being observant. I have observed a tattoo on your arm.
Yes.
Are you condoning people getting tattoos? Or you think it's cool?
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's body art. It's art after a fashion. It's a message if you want. It's a reminder for me. You can't tell it because I did it for me.
Yeah.
It's 2 Italian greyhounds and a broken heart. I used to have Italian greyhounds.
Okay.
And I lost them. They got old, and they went the way of older dogs. And so it's a reminder. I have another one. And then I have another one. But those are personal.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I will stop somebody I see with a tattoo and say, okay, now what exactly is that? You've got it out visible, so clearly you're okay with having it.
Yeah.
So, share. What is it? I don't have a problem with body art. Good. And it's a very personal choice.
That's what I was saying. I said, Mom, it's my body, and I want to put something on it that means something to me, so I think I should be allowed to.
Okay. Well, and also remember this, that it is with you for life.
True. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything bad.
Yeah. And also, unless you're a rap artist or somebody who's wealthy beyond means, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You still gonna have an employer.
Yeah.
And you still need to remember to represent yourself well.
Yeah.
If you want to look like you've just come out of jail, I would not suggest it. But it's certainly a personal choice. But it's a personal choice you get to live with.
Yeah, sure.
You're free to succeed or fail.
Yeah, I like that answer. I like that answer a lot.
Okay.
That's the answer I would give, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But with that being said, I think this was a great interview, and I thank you so much for coming out and doing this with us. Do you want to say any last words?
Well, I don't know that I do necessarily. I do good question and answer, but what I will say to the audience, and I'm assuming most of them are students,
Yeah.
is how important it is that you feel that Starkville is home, because we strive very hard to make Starkville feel like it's a place where you're proud to be, where you want to come back to, and my mantra is City Hall to Lee Hall. It could just as easily be Lee Hall to City Hall, but we're trying to make it so that you feel comfortable from one to the other,
Yeah.
with a seamless transition, with a flow of interest. And so hopefully for those who will go downtown and will still be here while we're working construction, but when it gets done, that you'll be proud of downtown and be willing to spend time there, because this is going to be the best years of your life that you'll keep going back to. So I want you to enjoy Starkville and make it a part of your life, permanent part of your life.
That's great. That's it for the interview. We'll see you next time. Right?
This might sound like a weird request.
Oh yeah, we have an outro thing.
Okay. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're probably not gonna want to. To be honest, our YouTube channel is called Inside the Mouth. Weird name, but
it grabs people's
attention.
attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's memorable.
So I'll give you a baseline of why I made this YouTube channel. I wanted it to be, first of all, anything that, like what I wanted to watch, when I want to watch,
Yeah.
when I go on YouTube, just random stuff, funny stuff, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I wanted our YouTube channel to feel like you're clicking through a TV station.
Okay.
So there's news ones. There's going to be interviews now. There's comedy ones. There's cooking ones. There's all
Okay.
types of stuff. So we just wanted a name that grabs you. So Inside the Mouth. Our outro,
Are you saying inside the mouth?
Inside the Mouth.
As in, gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
Inside the Mouth. And our logo is like a mouth with eyes in it and everything. Like
Okay.
that's what it
Okay.
is. But our outro is eating the camera.
Are you serious? Okay. I'm not sure how that would work, but
You just run up to the camera, and then it goes to
And
black.
it goes to black before you.
Yeah.
Put about that.
If you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to, I'll do it. Either way.
Okay. You
That's
okay?
it
You
for
okay with
Inside
it?
the Mouth.
I have no idea. But you may edit this shit out. I'm sorry. I've done weird things. I can do slightly weird things.
Okay.
But anyway, all right. I'm gonna run up on you and act like I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.